Hi, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies, and this is the new Elite Ethos. So I was meant to have this bow at the release date, but there was some mix-up with the shipping, and it's just arrived. So we're going to look at it and discuss it and see how it fits in the marketplace. But before we do that, I want to step back in time with Elite. Now, Elite have always had dependable bows. They've always been pretty rock solid, very little problems with them. But they used to have modules which used to bolt onto the bow. An absolute pain to work on because you had to drop the strings and cables to rotate the peep sight. You had to take the draw stop off. Really, you didn't want to sell the bow. Then Elite came with the rotating module system here. Fantastic system. Adjustable let off. Fantastic system. Cable stop or limb stop, or you can use both. Fantastic. Giving the user complete adjustability. Making life simple for the store, because if you want to sell this bow, you can sell it to pretty much anyone. So it made life really easy for the consumer and the store owner. Okay, so fantastic system. Now I'm going to say to adjust the draw length is not as easy as some you just sort of slot into different spots, 1/2 inch adjustability. With the Elite you have almost infinite adjustability, and you've got the little screws here where they clip into. So it would be easy to adjust a PSE, for example, but you've got more adjustability on this than a PSE. So you've got, what do you prefer? Do you want the 1/4 inch adjustments, or the 1/8 of an inch adjustments, or just the 1/2 inch adjustments? Okay, so this one's a little bit harder to adjust because there's more settings. Okay, but still very, very simple. Okay. So, when Elite released this bow, we didn't know what it was going to be. You just had to order the bows and pay for them and pay shipping. So, when this shipment came in, there was 3 bows, all the 3 latest. I didn't get it in my normal stock. It was just a 3 bow sort of shipment. So, let's look at this. The graphics look pretty much the same. The cams look the same as an Omnia. Okay. It comes with a high let-off module. You can change this module. I think there's 2 types of modules, a 75% module and a smooth module. I use the smooth module in my Verdict, and I've had many people try the smooth module and they really like it because you can't really feel it dump into the valley. Okay, when you draw back the Omnia or the Verdict, you can feel it dump into the valley. Okay, so if you like that solid dump, then you just use the module as is. Otherwise, you have to buy a module. You can't go, well, can I have the bow fitted with the smooth mods, or can I have it fitted with the 75% mods? No, you've got to buy those. They're about $120. Now, one thing that Elite changed here, the old models used to have a little micro adjustable. So you used to loosen this here, and then you put an Allen key in, and this draw stop moved backwards or forwards. Now, I'm going to suggest the reason why Elite changed this, I'm going to say, is maybe cost, but I think there was some rattling issues. Now, I don't think I had a rattling issue. Well, I haven't gotten a rattling issue with my bow, but I know customers who did, and I don't think they brought them from me, or if they did buy them from me, I think they put a little bit of like hot melt glue or something in there to stop the rattle. So there was some rattle on the cog. So, but I didn't fix the problem on anyone's bows. It just got mentioned to me. So I know one person brought a bow from someone else and they said they had problems, but I didn't see it because it wasn't purchased from me, right? So, but I do know they had a problem here with rattling, okay, which, yeah, someone said they put a little bit of hot melt glue in there. Anyway, I'm not saying to put hot melt glue in there. I'm just saying, look, there was some rattling. So I don't know if that's why Elite got rid of that micro adjustment, because it was good. That's your cable stop, and there's also a limb stop that bolts on to those little spots there, so you can change the whole feel, the whole let off of this bow. You have metal limb pockets, which you'd expect from a top of the range bow, and locking system on the side. Now, the negative part, I would say, with the Elites is the adjustability in poundage. With this bow, it's a 70-pound bow, which is a problem for me because I can only draw 60 pounds, okay, because I don't want to rip my chest open. It only winds down 4 turns, and I think this bow went down to 64 pounds, so that's wound down, and that's all the adjustment you've got. Yeah, I would prefer that these be longer, and I would prefer Like, you've got plenty of room on the back here to make that limb bolt longer. So you can got a full at least 10 pounds. I would prefer 15 pounds of an adjustability. So someone, building up to it, the bow's suitable. The problem with this bow, I'm going to say it's a fantastic bow, having never shot it, is that a beginner or someone who's building up really can't buy this because the poundage adjustability is not there in them. You have to know I'm a 60-pound bow and hence I want a 60-pound bow. Okay, so let's say you want 64-pound bow. That's a problem. Then you've got to buy a 65-pound bow, and then the shop's got to stock 60s, 65s, and 70s. So in my store, I stock 60s and 70s, and I have a customer who goes, I want 65, and I'm like, oh, there's a 2 to 3 month wait. But you don't sell many 65-pound bows, so that's an issue. Now, Elite this year in this bow has released a whole bunch of new colors. This is like the Verdict Brown. The Verdict Brown was gloss. This is a dull finish, and I think this color will be relatively popular. The dull colors have really taken off lately. The grays, the greens, the tans, and I think this will be another color. Elite have matching quivers and stabilizers. They are expensive. I'm going to say like most manufacturers' accessories, but they do tailor your bow up nicely, and they are good quality. So if you are buying a $2,000 bow, then maybe look at the Elite quiver or the Elite stabilizer. I'm not going to say the Elite stabilizer is better or worse than another company, but they will match your color combinations. So right, so we've got a roller cable guard slide here, which I really like, and it's adjustable. Really like that. It's a huge thing. Now, of all the other bows in the industry, Bowtech has a roller slide like this. Matthews have a slide like this. Hoyt has a slide like this. PSE don't. PSE use a normal cable slide. Okay, I really like this because it gets rid of the vibration left and right. The downside to roller cable slides, according to PSE, and the reason why they don't use them, and it may be a patent thing that they don't want to pay patents, but what they say is it affects the torque on the limbs, and that's why they don't do them, right? But it might be as simple as patents, and they don't want to say that, right? Limb stops down here. This has been good for the string stop, really good. The strings are winner's choice, so Elite own winner's choice, and they're generally pretty good strings. So I've had very little problems with winner's choice strings. I've shot Elite now over the last year, and I shot all the Elites over the last year. I had no issues with strings. Although saying that, I do have customers complain. Okay, I'm going to say I have a customer who said I paid $2,000 for a bow and the peep rotates that much, like that much, and I'm like, then put an expensive set of strings on and hopefully it won't rotate that much. I think to get zero rotation out of a peep's amazing, and to get just that much rotation out of a peep's just amazing. And winner's choice are generally very, very good strings. Okay, so to get no peep rotation, it has to be under tension. There has to be this has to be the right amount of tension on here. Too much, you get rotation. Too little, this will slide. Okay, same with that. Too much tension here. Too little tension. Too much tension, you get peep rotation. Too little tension, this will slide. Same with that. Same with that. It's just, for me, it's to get no peep rotation is just an amazing thing. And you're going to say, well, there are string manufacturers that get no peep rotation like gas. I'm going to say yes, but look, you still will have issues. Okay, so the rest two arrow holes, two lock-in holes, which is really good. I like 2 lock-in holes. The side has your 2 positions here. The grip feels like all your other grips on Elite. So if you've got an Elite, this feels the same. So it's a nice, comfortable grip. And I'm going to say anyone who picks up bows in my shop, and I've got all the brands of bows in my shop, they like the Elite grip. Okay. The bows that have adjustable grip here are now Bowtech, Hoyt, and now PSE's got an adjustable grip on some of their bows. Look, after feeling them all, I still like this grip because it's tapered here. It's angled out, so it kind of fits in your hand here. You can see some machining here, which kind of fits nice into your finger here. Look, you just don't get that on the other bows. They're just like straight up and down. And if you've got Matthews, well, you know, you rip your Matthews grip off and you fit another grip anyway to it, which I don't think is as comfortable as this grip. I think this is the best grip on the market. Look, they've got this little rubber thing here. Look, it's basically a little dampener. I don't know if you take it off and you fit stabilizers down here, but look, it absorbs a bit of shock, right? A rear for your rear stabilizers on the back here. I'm going to say the Elite limbs are good. One of the big selling points on Elite is tunability. Love it, absolutely love it. When the Elites first came out with this tunability, I had a customer complain, and I couldn't do anything about it because I was having heart surgery, or I had heart surgery. I couldn't pull back a bow, and I was like, well, I'm stuffed, right? So I gave him his money back, and he went away. Then when I could draw back his bow, I shot his bow and I did a review on it, and I was like, this is the best system ever. It takes seconds to tune a bow. And I'm like, seriously, like, unbelievable. This is the best system, and I'm going to say the best system. Bowtech has a system where you can move the cams left and right, and I haven't used it, and some people say that is better than the Elite system, but whatever. This is an amazing system because it's seconds to tune. And I'm going to say about tuning, I've never used it on any of my Elites. I shoot the Elites out the box and I go drill arrows. That's it. I feel that people get their bow and they want to tune, and they generally can't shoot, or they have form inconsistencies, and as a result, then the tuning is making up for your hand torque and all the other problems. Okay, so of people who come into my shop and complain about tuning, and they shoot through paper and they've got a massive rip, and then I shoot the bow and I pinhole it. Okay, so of those cases, it's almost 90% of people, it's all to do with their form. Okay, 90%, at least 90%. And in fact, I used to have a customer who's a better archer than me, no question about it, and he used to be all about tuning. All about it, and getting, shimming the bow, and we spent hours with him getting the arrow to just bullet hole, right? And now he shoots all the bows like these, and he's throwing these bows, but bows that are easy to tune. And do you know what? He doesn't even tune his bows anymore. He just goes and shoots perfect rounds. I'm like, oh, do you tune your bow? He goes, I don't bother. The thing is, the bow will shoot the same arrow every time. So while this is a cool technology, I haven't done it myself on the bow I shoot for target archery. I haven't done it on the bows, my hunting bows. I haven't done it. I haven't touched this. I did it for a customer who returned the bow, who complained, and I was like, this is the best thing. This is the best because it takes me seconds. Some of the other systems, the shim systems that feature on your Hoyts, your Matthews, your PSE's got a new system now which we can discuss. They can take the shop hours to tune because you've got to shift the modules, put the bow back together, go shoot it again, and if that's not right, you've got to try another combination. So it's like you've got to rip down the whole bow every time, and that takes time. This is seconds, literally seconds to tune. It's unbelievable. Right, so I love this system. The weight of this bow, the balance, let's just hold it out here so you can see it, get in the camera, like perfect. Like there's my hand open, perfect balance, beautiful. Now I will say Elite took some bows off their range and they've replaced them, this being one of the ones they've replaced. So I think they replaced the Remedy, which was a 34-inch bow. I love the Remedy bow. It was one of my favorite bows. But when it comes to picking a bow, what's your favorite bow? It was really hard because a lot of Elites are very similar, and you've got a difference in axle size. I feel like this bow, without shooting it, is an Omnia, which is a 31-inch bow, which I really like, which is longer, a bigger brace height, which is just going to be easy to shoot. So it's like a bigger Omnia, an easy shooting Omnia, and the Omnia was a fantastic bow, so that's why I feel like this bow will be without shooting it, because that's basically what the bow is. And I feel that's what bow companies are doing now. They're producing the same bow and going, well, let's make a 29-inch, a 30-inch, a 31-inch, a 32-inch, a 34-inch, 35-inch. and then we'll just throw a hunting target bow in there as well. We use the same technology and just do it across the line, and I feel like this is the same deal. They were using the same limbs, same cams, just made the bow a bit bigger. So how does this bow compare on the market to the other bows in the market? Because if you're looking at a bow and this is top of the line bow, how does it compare? It's 33 inches axle, 4.5 pounds. So it's the lightest of the bows in its class. Okay, you're going to get lighter bows which are carbon, but that's a different price point. So it's very light. Brace height 6.75, so 7 inches is going to be forgiving. 6 inches is going to be fast. So 6.75 should be a nice hunting bow. IBO on this is 340 feet per second. That's fast for almost a 7-inch brace height. That's really fast. And it's fast because you've got lots of holes here. This cam's light, parallel limbs, so you're not going to feel much force coming forward. US dollars, this bow retails for about $1,300, which puts it right up there against all the other bows in its price point. In fact, when I compared all the bows in the price point, we'll put up a chart. This is like right there in the middle. Now in Australia, what's interesting with this bow, and whether it's because the Australian dollar is crashing against the US dollar, so it's always a bit hard because we're falling so fast compared to the US country or economy. This is the cheapest of bows in its class in Australia, selling for about $1,800. Okay, so in America they're all about the same, but in Australia it's the cheapest. Bowtech, it competes with the SS34. The 34 is 34 inches, 4.7. The SSR was really popular. It's got the tunability cams. Brace height 6.75, same as the Elite. Little bit slower. I'm not going to say why it's a little bit slower, but it's a little bit slower. The SR34 is a little bit cheaper than this, okay? But it's got similar tunability. It's similar rotating modules. In Australia, the S34 is a little bit more expensive. Now, the question is, why is the SS34 more expensive in Australia than the Elite? The reason is postage. Okay, I'm getting the Elites in cheaper at the moment than from Bowtech. I don't know if it's location or what, but it's costing me almost $400 a bow to freight in from Bowtech, and it cost me about $150 a bow to freight in from Elite. Okay, and it's not to do with the number of bows I bring in, because I bring in similar numbers. The PSE Fortis is new, 33 inches, same size, 4.6, almost the same brace height. Weights, brace height 7, 4.6, so almost the same weight. IBO 340, so the same, like almost the same specs. In America, the Fortis sells for $100 cheaper. In Australia, the Fortis is about the same price. Difference between the Ethos and the Fortis. The PSE has got adjustable let off here too. It's got a rotating module, so you've got more adjustability on this than the PSE. You've got the ability to fit a limb stop on the Elite and not the limb stop on the Fortis. Okay. Elite use the tunability limbs. PSE used like little swedges that clip in. You need a bow press to adjust the PSE, and you've got to buy them. So to do the tuning on a PSE, I'm going to say it's a little bit harder than this, and you need a bow press on a PSE, and you need to buy the kit. So PSE do have the options of buying some different modules too, and PSE's got a normal cable slide instead of a roller cable slide, right? So about the same sort of thing, same sort of price. The Hoyt VTM is another popular bow, 34 inches axle, weight 4.8. Brace height is shorter, 6 1/4. So the Hoyt's going to be a little bit more twitchy to aim, so you're going to feel more moving when you aim on the Hoyt. The Hoyt is slower at 334, so a little bit slower. Now what's really surprising is the Hoyt is cheaper than the rest of the bows in the marketplace, which is really crazy because I always think Hoyt is really expensive, but it appears that PSE and Elite have all increased their prices, and now Hoyt is the cheapest in this marketplace. In Australia, that is not the case. Hoyt is now the second most expensive, and why is that? Because the Hoyt dealers make more money. Okay, let's call it what it is. The Matthews Phase 33, another popular bow, 33 inches, so same as this. The weight 4.7, so heavier than this, so this being the lightest in the marketplace. 6.5 inch brace height, so the Matthews will be a little bit more twitchy. The Matthews has got a grip you're going to take off. IBO on the Matthews 336, so a little bit slower than this, but similar. The Matthews is the most expensive in the marketplace, same as this. In Australia, it is $400 more expensive than this, and why is it more expensive? Why is the Matthews the most expensive in the marketplace and $400 more than this? Because there's not competition for Matthews in Australia, and they're making more money. That's what it is. So the dealers make more money, so they push Matthews. They're like, yeah, shoot Matthews, just because they're making more money. Good on you. That's good. Until we start listing Matthews, and then the price of the Matthews will drop to this price, right? So that's the way it works. Okay. Now, the problem with Matthews is modules. So to adjust the draw length on a Matthews, you need to buy a module. So you get a bow and you go, oh, it feels a little bit shorter. It feels a little bit long. And that's what I do in my videos. It could be to do with the position of the grip to the Berger pole. It could just be the feel of the cam. All right. So I've got two bows. Two PSC Performs I had on two different draw lengths, one on 28.5 and one on 29. I didn't know until I checked the modules. I was like, oh, I had them set on different poundages, just they felt comfortable, right? So if the Matthews doesn't feel comfortable in let off, you're going to have to buy another module. If it doesn't feel comfortable on draw length, you're going to have to buy another module. If it doesn't feel comfortable on anything, you're going to have to buy another module, okay? The modules are going to cost you about 120 each, you bolt them on. The Matthews tuning system, you have to drop the cams off and buy a top hat system to put little spacers in. The top hat system is unique for each bow in the Matthews lineup, so it's a little bit of a pain for the dealers, and maybe that's why they're making more money, because it's a little bit more painful to work on a Matthews than work on an Elite or a Bowtech. Or just maybe he's driving a Ferrari and I'm driving an average car. I don't know. So, who knows? So I'm going to say I think this is pretty well priced in the marketplace, just looking at the comparisons in the marketplace. Now, when you're thinking about buying a bow and you're thinking about top end, I came up to a 3D shoot the other day and I was like, I really like the Envision from Elite. It's a 31-inch bow. I think it's 31 inches. It's a nice 7-inch brace height. I shoot really well with it, as well as my target bow. So I shoot the same scores. I've been bang, 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 shooting scores. I shoot the same scores, right? So I'm like, well, which bow do I shoot? I really like the Envision. It's really well balanced like this. Step back again because the camera's in reverse. Really nice bow to shoot, okay? I chose to shoot the Verdict for 3D. And the reason I chose that is because the bow's shorter, the peep sight's further away from my eye, so I just found that with the peep sight, I would have needed a bigger peep sight in the string, because the string's away further from my eye. And I chose to go with the Verdict, which is 37 inches axle to axle, and I was happy with that choice. I shot the Verdict last weekend in a competition in the wind. I shot my personal best in windy conditions. So when I say personal best ever score in windy conditions, which is amazing, the bow was really, really nice. Now, I'm not saying that because I get paid by Elite or I'm wearing an Elite shirt. I had to buy this shirt. Elite don't do me special deals on bows. They don't give me a bow at cost. They don't give me a bow at 50% off. It's just like when I shoot the bows here, I'm like, I do the review, I'm like, I like the feel of that bow, and I shoot it. I really like the Verdict. It's the same cam as this. It's a nice bow to shoot. I like the grip. And when I look at bows, I'm like, well, look, which bow do I like the grip better? What do I like? Do I like the finish? I would buy a Bowtech, a Target Bowtech, just because of the paintwork. I think it pops. And on paintwork, Elite has got so many colors for this bow. It's a full credit for them. However, Elite don't do red. I think Elite should do red. I think they should have custom options like white limbs, because white limbs absorb less heat than black limbs. I think there should be custom options. So for the person who wants to make their bow look bling, that's an option. I know if you're a manufacturer, you're like, we have 15 colors for this bow, we have 15 bows and 15 colors and all the poundages. There's so many things. It would be really nice to have a custom area who just goes, oh, we'll paint some limbs in white and we'll charge you an extra $100 for it or whatever. I would like that feature, because I would like a verdict in red with white limbs. Maybe I want one in black with white limbs. I don't know. I think giving a person a choice when it's a premium product is a good thing, whether it be cars or whether it be anything. People like to customize. So I think if Elite had customization, it would put it just a step ahead. Yeah. Shipping times on Elite, I'm going to say Elite's generally pretty good, although this shipment, there was some hiccup with it as far as it, I don't know what it was. I have got no idea what it was. They apologized. I don't know what happened, but it was sitting there and someone forgot about it. That happens. I've got a shipment from Bowtech that has been in customs for 6 weeks. I will probably get it today. 6 weeks. These things happen with shipping. It annoys customers, and customers literally, I think about 70% of my phone calls are about shipping from customers, or asking when products are going to be in, or how long is it going to be to get a product to them. It's like, look, it's on Elite, we order a whole bunch of bows. So I've ordered 15 Ethoses in all the colors and all the different poundages. But it might be you want a 65 pound in a specific color. That's got to be made and it's got to be ordered and it's got to be in a bigger shipment. That takes time. How long does that take? Maybe 3 months. And then it's normally a week in from the US to Australia. Normally a week, right? But like I said, with Bowtech, it's been 6 weeks. So Elite is very good with shipping. They're one of the better companies as far as shipping a bow out. From the time you order it to the time you receive it, it's definitely one of the best ones, and one of the ones that causes me less stress. Okay, so now Elite warranty. Let's talk about Elite warranty. And when I say warranty, I've had none. I'm thinking, because I don't want to get wrong, I don't think I've had any Elite warranty issues. And I'm saying this is where the product had, like, the slim splinter or something happens. None. Of all the bows I sell, how many Elite bows do I sell a year? Oh, lots. Maybe 1,000. Maybe 1,000, right? None. Now, I do get Elite warranties where the person dry fires the bow, forgets to load an arrow, shoots without an arrow, and then the cams break and strings snap. That's not a warranty. Now, saying that, when I ask Elite, and I'm not hoping I'm not getting my sales rep in trouble, and don't think you're going to get it because it's not a warranty. And when you ask nicely and you say, look, the guy just brought a bow and he dry fired on his first thing, Elite has looked after me on numerous times in that case, right? So if you're a shop and you haven't been looked after, I'm really sorry. I don't ask anything from manufacturers generally, but I do ask, like, for that, when a person's just brought a bow and they've just blown it up, I do ask and see what they do, and Elite has helped me out with new strings and new cams and new limbs. It's amazing, and they're generally pretty quick. Saying that, Elite generally don't ship in the parts by themselves because the cost of the freight into Australia is prohibitive. They generally come in with an Elite shipment. Elite shipments come into my shop about every month. So basically every month there's a shipment rolls in of Elite products, and your warranties are generally in there. Even though they won't be warranties, they'll be through you dry firing your bow. Right, so, but very, very few of Elites. I'm going to say last year I probably replaced And I really can't even think of I know there's a person who dry fired his cams and it wasn't purchased through me, but I reckon I did about 4 sets of cams last year. Not a lot. Out of all the cams that get blown up and all the dry fires, I get about 2 dry fires in my store a day. So Elite has been fantastic. It's on some of their bows, I've had a girl dry fire her bow twice or 3 times now, an Elite, and it's a girl, so the poundage is lighter, and I've just had to, I'm going to say, hit things with a hammer, which you're probably going to hate, but it was just the string stop. Maybe she had to buy a module because the module bent. It wasn't on one of these, obviously, because this is new, and it'll be because of the limb stop. It'll be this thing here hitting the cam, causing it to bend on the module. If she didn't have the limb stop on, it would have been nothing. So my point is, the Elite bow is almost the most indestructible bow I've ever sold. It's really good. The paint finish. This is it the best paint? Strongest paint, least scratch resistant paint I've ever sold? Possibly. I've got, on the Elites I've sold, that I've shot, they look like brand new. They're amazing. Like, really, really good. Anodizing is excellent. That's the box falling down. Anodizing is an excellent finish. This is not anodized. This is some sort of other finish. The camo finish that Elite puts on their bow is somehow impregnated into the riser. On other camo finishes you see, with a person's sweat from their hands, the camo will rub off. And when I say rub off, it'll, like, the acid from the hand will get into the camo and wipe it off. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen on Elite. I haven't seen it happen on Elite. Okay? It's very common on other brands. Very common that just where your hand touches the bow, the camo will rub off and you'll see the go back to paint finish underneath where they film dip the bow. So they drop the bow in the camo, pull it out, that stuff will rub off with time. These are very dependable. The limbs. On some brands, the edges are sharp. So when someone bumps the limb like that, little splinters come up on the limbs, and on some brands they go, well, that's not a warranty because it's got a splinter on the edge, which means it's been touched. So you're up for $1,000 for limbs, and $1,000 for limbs seems crazy, but I could pull up the website and show you that some brands cost $1,000 for limbs. So then your question's going to be, well, if I break a set of Elite limbs, what do they cost? And I do know that number. I think it's Australian dollars. I think the Elite cams are about 300. I think the limbs are around 300 Australian dollars, ballpark, give or take a few bucks depending on what's happening with the dollar, but I'm pretty sure that's the numbers. That places Elite on spare parts really good. All right, so some brands are $1,000 for limbs, some are 400. I think the Elite limbs are a little bit cheaper than other brands, which is pretty good. The cams are, I think, a little bit cheaper than other brands as well. So I'm going to say Elite don't feel like they are going, well, we're going to make a fortune off spare parts. And I'm not going to say other companies are making a fortune off spare parts, because spare parts, the time to ring up and order and get them shipped in for one part is, you're probably not making any money on it. Where a person rings up and orders like 15 bows and you just ship them all out, that's the money, not, oh, I'm just getting one part, I need this little part shipped in from America. The time to place that order, the time, it's just really, you're not going to make any money on it. But the Elite stuff is very affordable as far as spare parts if you need them. These things are rock solid. Look, it's a rock solid bow. So I'm going to close it. The negative point on Elite, in my view, or the things I'd like to see improved, I'd like to see more limb adjustment, more weight adjustment, and bows shoot better on maximum poundage because it puts more pressure on strings and cables, and I understand that, but I would like at least a full 10 pounds of weight adjustment on the limbs, because I think that's what you need. And I would like custom. But besides that, I think it's good. The products, the brand is a nice brand to sell. Now, I'm going to leave with a concern or whatever. One of my friends is in America and he shoots all the shoots and he goes, 70% of people shoot Matthews. Like, I don't know, like, this is what I got told. He said 70% of people shoot Matthews. And I'm like, there is literally no Matthews in my state, and I sell Matthews, right? Because when customers come in the shop and they feel the bow and they go, look, adjustability and this feels great. If this is not on your list of bows to try out, you're crazy, because the price is good, tunability is excellent, the grips are really good, the bow feels fantastic to shoot. And you could argue the point with me that any of those other bows that I've mentioned in this review are superior in some way or another. Like you like the Hoyt limbs, or you like the cam tunability on the Bowtech, or you like PSE because you like PSE, right? Or you like Matthews because you like changing your grip. But, which is true. Lots of people like the aftermarket grips on Matthews, but try the bow out. It's this and the Elites are just so good. They are so good. The finish is really good. They last a lifetime. The bearings are good. They've got big, thick axles, so you don't get into cam leans and all the other issues you get with other bows. I can tell you all the problems with all the other bows, but just to me, the Elite have been working on it. They've got a solid base and they've done a good thing. And my closing point, I feel like closing, I would like the Elites and longer axles. I like this bow and maybe a 35-inch I think would be cool for 3D archers. However, the verdict is an amazing bow. It really is. It's an amazing bow. But I just think for the people wanting longer bows, heck, why not do it? And I think this bow will probably take the sales away from the Omnia, because people will choose this for hunting because it's similar speed, a little bit more forgiving. So I'd expect to sell less Omnias now that this is on the market. And I would certainly think about, if you're buying one of these, think about the smooth modules, or think about the 75%, or think about the 75% module, because it feels completely different to shoot, and there's not a lot of difference in speed. So I'm Stephen Ham from Archery Supplies. Elite Ethos out in your local archery shop now, and I know there's lots of dealers for some reason who don't sell Elite. Crazy. I mean, as I understand from Elite, they'll sell to anyone. That's what they tell me. They said we'll sell to anyone. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but they're very, very good. And I have so little problems. I love it. Anyway, I'm Stephen Ham from Archery Supplies. I'm going to do a review where I try and pull this bow back. So I've got an arrow rest on this. I haven't shot this bow. My staff have. They said it was good. They said it only wound down to 64. So I'm going to fit a sight to it, and I'm going to do a video and see if we can pull it back. And if I can't, it'll be a very short video. And if I can, I don't hurt myself. We'll see how that goes. Thanks for watching. Bye.